Hi, my name is Mahyar, and in this multi-part tutorial we will model and render a Google Pixel phone from start to finish in Blender. Check out the YouTube playlist and reference files in the description below. Let's get started. I center the 3D cursor, create a circle mesh, increase the number of vertices to 64. I scale it up. I delete the half. GX, Shift DX, SX -1, GX, now I press F, insert it inside. Deselect these vertices and move that once. Now we can add a control loop here. Press X vertices to delete that surface. We now have a surface and a curve. Let's move it G, Y. Go to vertex mode. Now I will delete this face. We can extrude it. E, Y. Now we can delete the face. Select all and Shift N. Alt Z. Delete faces. Now we select these vertices outside. Go to the right view. G, Y. Because we want to have a bevel later, I have to select these outer vertices, create a face, create an inset to have a perfect edge loop for beveling it out, and then I will delete the face. Now we have a perfect edge loop for beveling. I can use the same trick for this one with a big difference. I create the face, I inset it, delete the face, select the edge, I press G twice to slide, press C to keep the direction, but I will go outside to create that edge loop. I select this part with L and press Alt and flip. Now I can create an edge loop here. Press Ctrl to snap to this vertex. Select these 4 vertices. Press F. Deselect these 2 first. Press F until it match up until here. Repeat the process here. Now we need to create 2 holes for the flash and I don't know, LiDAR. Copy this, cursor to selected, add a circle mesh, align to view, decrease the number of vertices to 32, scale it up. We can now delete this vertex. Make sure this is the same level. To make sure this is symmetrical to this one, we can go to Active Elements mode. We now see that this is the center. This is the axis we want to mirror this circle. we can press this one, Shift D, S, Z, -1. That perfectly came downwards. We can do this after we created this part. Since this is a perfect circle, we can have the edge loop for beveling without needing to create face and inset. We can simply go to bounding box center, press E to extrude, press F. Since it doesn't have any dimension in Y-axis, we don't need to press Shift Y. Now we can select all of this part with L. Select this center here. Press Shift D, S, Z, -1. I forgot to go to the active element mode. SZ -1. I have to flip this part. Now we have duplicated this vertex here too. I select this one, press M by distance and decrease it, remove one vertex. Now we have to create a face here. I will dictate some faces to Blender. I just want to make the mesh clean. It may not have any result in final shape, but I want everything to be clean. One is redundant. And distribute the space with loop tools. If loop tools is not enabled for you, you can enable it in Blender add-on settings. We only have this part to handle. Press F. I have perfect edge loops at the edges so that I can bevel them out for a smoother and more realistic edges. Create bevels here. For beveling, I want to take a look at your reference image. If you take a look at Pixel 9 Pro XL images in real life, the edges are pretty sharp, so I don't give too much bevel to it. Okay, now we are going to model the lenses here. I add a circle with 64 vertices. I Control A, apply all transforms to have perfect one scale. I select the circle, move it in the Y direction, select camera island and circle together, press tab. I did this because I want to snap circle to the vertical center of this island. I go to the back view, select the middle vertex, press G, Z. Now it's perfectly vertically centered. I should take a look how lenses look like in real world. As you can see, we have also mic hole here. We have two objects here. I can handle the dark and transparent parts of the glass with texture, but I have to model the three cameras in Blender. There also should be a gap between the glass cover and the metal island. We also should have a radius here to be more realistic. Okay, first I add the radius here so that I won't forget. I select the metal island. I isolate it. As you can see, we should have a symmetrical shape in the y-axis. So I will set the object origin to somewhere in the center by adding an edge loop in the center, pressing cursor to select it. I'm sure that 3D cursor is somewhere in the middle of this object. Now I tab out of edit mode and set origin to 3D cursor. Now I go to the edit mode, delete these vertices here. I can easily add a mirror modifier in the Z direction of the local object. The local Z is in the world Y direction. Now we can apply this modifier. Now we have also a beveled edge here. We can select these two edges and press breach. We need to twist to match. Now I want to model the glass. I extract this edge, Shift D, P selection. I will rename it to camera glass. Go to edit mode. Press A, F. I wanted to have a thickness. I can inset it. grid fill. It's perfect. Now for adding thickness, we can add solidify modifier. We can hide the glass for now. Now I have to model the camera part. Later I have to add a hole in the glass and also model the contents inside these two holes. I go to the bounding box mode, ES scale. As you can see, it's somehow going upwards. I scale once more, ES. I go downwards. This is all guesswork. That won't be too much visible when I add the glass. Scale it. EY, ES. Shade auto smooth. I decrease the angle to 10 degrees to include this edge too. We can add a bevel modifier, angle 10, decrease its radius to increase the segments to 4. I think that's a good one. I select this edge, cursor to selected, go to the back view, add a sphere, UV sphere, align to view, decrease the radius. Since I want this sphere to be smoother, I select all of this, and since I don't want the sphere to be beveled, I remove that from the outer ring and decrease its bevel radius. I think that's good enough. I delete the redundant vertices. Now I can simply select these two, copy them, place them here. I can hold down the shift to move it slowly. Tab into edit mode, select all, into the bounding box center. I will scale them down. Now I go to the active element, press GY to make it the same level as this two. After modeling the third camera, I should move all of them inside. To avoid any light bleed here, I have to add a surface behind all of these cameras. Maybe I have to hide the screen. Let's hide these to see. Okay, I add a plane mesh. I can scale it down. Only part of this circle will be visible due to the black opaque part of the front glass. I want to go to edit mode, Ctrl Shift B to. Before that, I have to apply all the transforms. Ctrl A, all transforms. A, select all the 4 vertices, Ctrl Shift B. Select all, press Inset. Also extrude outer edge. I can extrude it once more and once more and inset it. I can extrude it once more and delete the face. I can Control Alt and select this edge ring, Control F, exclude faces along normals and make them go in. Shade auto smooth. I think one step is too much. I select this one. Delete this vertex, that was too much. Add a sphere here, but this time I want to increase its face count and its ring count. I want to scale them up. I want to scale them in the y-axis, make them a little bit flat. And also bevel these corners by Ctrl Shift B. Now I think with a shiny surface I can mimic the lens here. Press GY to move this back and press GY and select one of these vertices, holding down Ctrl to make them the same surface. I want to apply bevel modifier here. and here, so that I can merge them all together. Control J to merge them. Now we can unhide the camera glass. I didn't select the lenses. I joined them again. I renamed them to cameras. Now I can move them back. Then later when we create materials, we can check the object's position. Now I want to create a surface here and here for the missing parts. Now I extract a curve for the glass that is above the flash LED. Add a solidify modifier. Now I can duplicate it, move it inside, remove the solidify modifier and use it as a texture plane that is going to show the LED flash. Something like this. Rename it to flash. For this one, I just need a plane that I will assign a shiny material, shiny black material to it. Because now you are seeing it white because there's a white surface above it and it's reflecting its light. As you can see, we can see this white object here. But in another angles, as you can see, it becomes black. Back to Blender. I can duplicate this. Select camera island and this plane together. Press tab. GZ. GY. I create a edge loop displays. I choose this one as the place for the hole. It's maybe for the mic. Control Shift B. Since we have solidify modifier, there's no need to extrude. I hide the glass for the moment. I borrow a inside edge from the camera island. to create a plane behind these objects. That actually works fine with this gap here. Now I can unhide the camera glass and back panel. It seems like all is left is unwrapping. All the surfaces that need to have texture should be unwrapped. But the materials that are not including any pattern, for example, plain shiny metal material or plain plastic material, they don't need to be unwrapped. First, I need to unwrap the screen because I want to use texture for the screen and the bezel. And also I want to use glass material for this part of the screen. The other object that needs to be unwrapped is the camera glass because some part of it needs to be transparent and other parts needs to be opaque. Since I don't want to have any imperfection or dust and rust on the object, since it's a product visualization and not a, for example, game object, other parts of the phone don't need to be unwrapped. Before applying this solidify modifier, I will unwrap the object and then apply the modifier. That way they will not add extra space on the UV. I can simply project, select all, press U, Smart UV project, unwrap it. Now, when we apply the solidify modifier, all of these are overlapped. UV project this one too. As you can see, there are the side edges of the screen. Are Z 180 degrees. Later, we need to add the UI screen here. I need to unwrap the back panel because I want the Google logo to be texture, not mesh. Unwrapping is very easy. Select all U Smart UV project. As you can see, I have to rotate it 180 degrees to align with the y-axis. Now we need to unwrap the flash. First, I hide the glass, and we need to unwrap this part so that we can place the flash image on it. I'll place it perfectly in the center of this UV map I should check it out to see if everything is good. As you see, we have some problem here because this is an n-gon. From this vertex, we don't have the edge loop. I have to add it manually here and connect these vertices by hitting J. Now I want to isolate and separate these antenna places. I press Alt-Z and press V and right click. As you see, if I isolate this frame, as you see, we have round corners here due to subdivision. We have to go to advanced and keep corners. This way, when we separate these vertices, the corners will remain angular. I do the same process with other antenna parts. I was looking at the reference images and saw that I missed an antenna. I will add that right now. The missing antenna is between the USB Type-C port and this microphone hole. I go to the front view, press Alt-C. I will add antenna somewhere here. I press K for knife tool and press C for cutting through so that the vertices behind the front surface will be cut. I click Enter, K, C, Enter. Now, to have a perfect vertical line, we have to scale these vertices towards x-axis, SX0. SX0. Now we can safely press V and separate this antenna part. It's now completely ready for shading process. Before that, I want to organize my file and select and create an empty to move the phone and rotate it more easily by rotating that empty. Before that, I press Shift S and cursor to world origin, Shift A, empty plane axis. I decrease its size and I rename it to pixel. Now I select all of the meshes, and as you see, I have unhidden the guide mesh so that it gets selected too. Press Ctrl to deselect the empty that we have created and select it as the last object. Press Ctrl P, object. Now all of the selected meshes are child of the pixel, and when we move or rotate the empty, the phone comes and rotates and moves with it. Now we can safely hide the guide mesh and our phone is ready for shading.